Welcome to the Fulton Job, guys, and thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, you should probably do that. This is just going to be a living room, hallway, bathroom on this video. We're just going to snap this floor together. We're not using an underlayment on this job. They decided not to go with one. It is padded on the back side, so it's still pretty nice to walk on. It's not really rigid. And yeah, I'm just about 80% done with the job at this point. I've still got to do the kitchen and the dining room. Goes pretty quick once you get into the flow and then got all your patterns lined up. I'm stuck on the patterns, man. You got to get your patterns lined up on the wall like that. However, it seems like every box you open, sometimes they just don't have the pattern that you need. It's like you run out of the pattern that you need and you got to open another box and or buy more, and that sucks. Each box should have an even amount. Another thing that I do is I use my level and or my speed square to strike my razor across for cutting, and then I use the hard side to pop them in half. I'll show you later. If you want it to look right, you just got to do it right, and separating each pattern is the proper way to do it. Just tighten it up against that wall. I think it's a 4-inch slither there. I usually leave my walls for the last thing. I don't typically waste time doing all the cuts up against the wall because it takes a lot of time, and it's better to do that on a day all on its own or at the end of the job. Much like this side, you can see that width, they're about 7 inches wide, so that's more like 10 inches there, maybe 11, because it's basically half of a piece of flooring that goes up against the wall there under the window. So as you can see, I'm dry, I call it a dry run. I'm just dry fitting it just to make sure that all of my patterns match up before I start locking it in. And I've made my cuts from the ends, and now I'm just going to walk it down. You guys see up against that wall, it's about 5 inches. It's just a quick preview of what's done. I'm going to run into this hallway and into that bathroom. That floor right there was you can hear it, a little bit squeaky, so we need to get some screws and tighten that back down. Back to it. There's an example of me using my speed square to strike the flooring for the cut, and then using that ridge to snap it. That way you don't have to carry a bunch of stuff. You can use the same tool for a lot of different things. Pro tip. And there's that corner. That is 1/8 of an inch. It's probably closer to 3/8 of an inch. It looks like it's 1/8 of an inch from here, but yeah. And before you guys get on my head about what's behind that door frame, those door frames are shimmed out quite a bit, so the stud is not touching the actual flooring when I shove it up under there. And actually I end up cutting away a little bit of that so that it has free range to move. The thumbs up was because that line that I initially, when I did my grid and centered the room in the front room, that living room, we got lucky the way that hallway ran into that bathroom, so that was pretty sweet. And And this is just another example of how I like to get it nice and tight, but I still definitely have plenty of room under that door frame for the floor to move freely. So that was the hallway, bathroom, and living room. Next we'll do the dining room and the kitchen, and that will be all the flooring on this job. So subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys.